大拇指。
不要放下来，不要放下来。
履行党员义务，履行党员义务，执行党的决定，执行党的决定。宣誓完毕。用什么粘？就是和我啊，你说不是我说。
爸爸，
上面这是杀虫剂，这是杀虫剂。对，金色。
妈妈这边。病人为什么要穿西服？减轻了胸。病人出餐的时候。
也是一心一意吉祥日，
愿您一生一世无忧愁，一朝。
Both of them are clearly very capable countries in terms of space exploration. The United States has a long-standing tradition in space exploration. China's is a bit shorter, but China has made remarkable progress over the last few decades in achieving technological parity, I would say, particularly in low Earth orbit. The Americans are of course, more advanced, more experienced in sending humans beyond low Earth orbit. They've been to the moon since the Apollo program. But China obviously has developed its space station, Tiangong, which requires quite a high level of sophistication. In China, it's more centrally organized. It's the Chinese National Space Administration that directs what's happening on long-term timescales, 5-year plans and longer. And it's going one step at a time, sequential, robotic first, eventually humans. Well, in the United States, the ecosystem is a bit wider, with NASA maybe no longer being the main driver, because there are many commercial actors now as well, including Blue Origin and SpaceX. So the ecosystem is different, the governance is different, but the technological prowess is not that different anymore, I would say. A lot of media outlets talk about a space race. I think that is a misnomer, because if we look back to the 1960s, when there was a space race between the United States and the Soviet Union, that was two entities, two countries that were vying for prestige and to plant a flag somewhere first. That's no longer the case. The ecosystem is much more complex now. It's the United States wanting to establish their base through the Artemis program, China gradually getting there through robotic missions and eventually possibly human missions. But there are multiple actors there as well, commercial entities in the United States, but also India is quite keen to explore the moon. Collaboration between NASA and any Chinese state entity is forbidden because of the Wolf Amendment from 2011, which legislated that as prohibited. And so this there cannot be direct collaboration. At the moment, the two sides are working in parallel. But even during the time of the actual space race between the US and the USSR, there was cooperation at some point. The Apollo-Soyuz test program happened during the middle of the Cold War, for instance, right? So from my perspective as a scientist, going to the moon and Mars perhaps allows one to study those bodies in the solar system in much more detail than by just getting a few rocks back on a sample return mission, to really try and understand the origin of the inner planets in our solar system. So that is a purely scientific goal. From a more commercial, if you like, perspective, it seems that the South pole area of the moon contains water in the form of small ice crystals that might be used as a resource. There might be all kinds of resources in the lunar soil that can be exploited. So at the moment, it's too expensive, of course, to mine whatever is on the moon and take it back to Earth. But who knows what's happening in the future? So this is looking forward to the future.